So guys, so today I'm going to drain the fluids out of the motor, most of the motor. I'm going to start taking apart the radiator, taking out the turbo air filters, kind of breaking everything down, getting the old intercooler out, everything like that. Let me show you what I got so far. So as you can see, I took the front bumper off, I got the headlights out, and I have the old air dam for the intercooler, as you can see right there. Let me show you guys what I do to drain the fluids out of the radiator. So if you look under your car, for your radiator at the bottom side right here, okay, there should be a little plug. Make sure you got a drain pan because it'll come out two ways. Take this off and it'll start draining out the bottom, and then I've already drained most of this so far, but then it'll shoot out that hole right there. All right guys, so right now I'm working on getting the intercooler piping out for the stock intercooler. So let me show you what I got so far. So in order to get the pipe that goes here out, there's two bolts back here, down here. You have to remove those and remove the bolts off. You got to clamp here, pull that whole thing up and out, and then you can get to the intercooler down here. There is one bolt back here, one bolt here, and there is one more bolt on this bracket right there. And there we go. She's out. Today I'm going through the motor. I'm getting ready to pull it. So I've been marking all the cables of what goes on to the harness and everything like that, exactly where it goes to, and I'm taking pictures of pretty much everything. So I'll show you guys what I have right now. So as you can see, I'm marking all the connectors that are going to go back to where they need to go. Water, fuel rail, passenger, everything like that, fuel lines. So I am marking literally every piece as I go along, every connector where it's going to go to. And I'm also snapping pictures because honestly, I've never pulled this motor before and I've never done a motor before. I got the main connector, harness connector off, and I'm working my way to the back side of the motor. And I came across the main battery line, which honestly I didn't know where that connected to, but it goes all the way in the back. But that's where the battery connects on the main battery harness. So if you're wondering, it's a pain in the ass. You got to do the whole thing blind, but steady progress coming along. I still have to drain the AC, and I haven't gotten over here yet, but I'm pretty sure there's some other hoses that I'm going to have to start taking off here. I got some of it marked, most of the intake and the wires and everything like that for the fuel rail, and then just random vacuum hoses I've taken off so far. So we're getting there, slowly but surely. What's up guys? So today I am getting the car on jack stands, getting it in the air, and I'm going to start removing the tires and suspension parts. As you can see, I have my handy dandy helper here working on getting these lugs off, and I'll show you guys how I'm going to jack it up, and then we're going to start getting into the deeper parts of removing the suspension, removing the axles. The axles got to come out anyway because in order to get the motor out, the axles have to come out. Kind of sucks, but is what it is. I can do a full refresh, and I'll make plenty of videos on the refresh of the parts that I'm doing too, plus the new parts that I'm going to be adding. So this side is still pretty decent, but you can see over the years where they've jacked them up onto the worst spots possible, where it just bends the entire frame of everything. So, but this is the proper point to install your jack stand on the front side, both sides. And this, in between the little notch, is the proper side to install your other jack stand, like so. So first things first, get your tire off. Next, you want to break your nut. It is a 32 millimeter nut on your CV axle on the hub. And my handy dandy helper here, he is going to try and break these loose. It is a 17 millimeter on the top and on the bottom. You've got one here, one down here, and then on the back side here, you've got one bolt here, and then one down here, right there. And that is your caliper and caliper bracket. So for the coilover, we're going to start up top here. We can break 1, 2, 3 bolts, break those off. You can leave it hang if you want to. I do. And then we're going to bust off this nut right here from the upper control arm and the knuckle. And then we're also going to break this bolt off here. I do that first so you can get the bolt off underneath, because it's kind of a pain in the ass to get that bolt off. Where is it? It's right under there. So you kind of have to break that off first and then get that out and then kind of wiggle that bolt out so it'll come out so you can get this wishbone off. The wishbone stays attached to this, and yeah, we'll go from there. So the other one you have to break off is this sway bar link, 10 millimeters. Now we're going to take the upper control arm bolt off up here, and that is a 17 mil. There we go. There it is. Ball joints have a little flare in them, so if you hit on the side, it'll actually loosen them up and break them off that way. These also do have an Allen key that can fit in here. Mine is stripped. So the best course of action is there, right back here, there is a little metal shim to grab on. You have to grab on that with your vice grip and clamp the living hell out of it, and then break that off. And hopefully it doesn't spin in your vice grip. Otherwise you're gonna have to keep clamping harder and harder and harder. That's really the only other option to get this out, or you can just cut it off if you want to. So this is the other way to get that off if you really want to. Just break it back here and on the link. You're gonna buy a new one anyway, so what does it fucking matter? Okay, so after that, after you break this because you can't get it off because it fucking sucks because it's 28 years old, let's go back up to the coilover, and we're gonna take the rest of that off. Now we got it. Pull this out. Get the CV axle out. So what I had to do is, you got your knuckle here, took that off, but next I had to get this tie rod out. So you got to break it off with a, I believe it's a 16 or 17 millimeter, and then you'll beat that out. You can beat out the bottom of it. I replaced mine anyway. I'm not going to use the same one, so I'm replacing it. So if you ruin it, yeah, no big deal. So I was able to do that, and then push the CV axle out of the hub. You might have to beat it out with a rubber mallet for a minute, and then it'll loosen up, and then you'll go under the car, and the CV axle is connected all the way back there into the transmission. So once you get that out, it's pretty easy. You go under the car and, you know, grab a bigger screwdriver, flathead or something like that. You know, you just kind of pop it out and pry it out, and that gets you your axle out the rest of the way. This is where I'm still at with this, with the engine bay. Pretty much everything's out. I got the motor mounts and stuff like that I got to remove, but everything else for the most part is going to be out. I got to get some of this stuff out of the way again, and I still have to bleed the AC system and get that out of the way. But in about 2 weeks, we should be good to go. What's up, guys? So today I'm back on getting this motor out of here. My buddy let me borrow his engine stand. His name is Schmodified. He's on TikTok and YouTube, Instagram, all that. Check him out. He does some amazing work, body work, upgraded cars, crazy. But check him out. So let me show you guys where I'm. All right, so here I am. I'm on the passenger side. I'm draining the fluids out of the transmission. Just show you guys where I'm at here. Transmission, and then down here is your fluid drain. If you can see that, I'm going to drain that right now. Oh, there we go. So that's all the transmission fluid coming out of there. We're going to let that drain. I think I have a couple coolant lines here. The heater hose lines got to come off. The motor mounts, and I believe I have to pull the AC unit away, the AC thing away. And then there's really not much left after that. I think I have everything discoed here. This line has to come off. So, yeah. What's up, guys? So I got some good news, and the motor's coming out. Show you guys where I'm at right now. So I have the entire harness is pulled away. Everything is off the transmission, ready to go. I have the axles out. I have to take the exhaust off, but it's 2 bolts, nothing big. Took the brake lines off, took the AC off, and you can pretty much see everything is off and ready to go. So I just took out the transmission rear motor mount, 14 millimeter, and it slides right out. I have the engine stand set up right now to where I have the load kind of distributed evenly all around right now. And I just have to take out the front motor mount. So that one's super easy, and we'll get to that in a second. What's up, guys? So today is motor pulling day, and I have everything set up, and right now I have the rear transmission motor out, or the transmission mount out, and I just pulled out the front transmission mount, and everything, let me show you guys, everything I have right now is set up, and the motor is being held up by the one transmission mount and the side motor mount, and then I also have it set so the jack stand, or the motor lift, is actually supporting the engine, lifting it up off of the mounts a little bit, so it's making it 10 times easier to pull the motor mounts. So when I do pull these mounts, everything will come off smooth and easy. So when you go to take the bolts out of the mounts, they should just slide right out. You shouldn't have to hammer them out. They should just slide right out. You should have no pressure on them whatsoever once you have the motor mount lifted onto it. So let's get these other mounts taken out. Let's get this motor out. All right, guys, so let me show you where we're at. This motor mount is out. Everything is free, as you can see. Motor is free of everything hanging. I have it angled just a little bit to the passenger side, because when you lift this motor out, it has to come driver's side up a little bit higher, so we can clear this clear the transmission from the body here. So we're gonna put this into a time lapse and take it nice and easy. All right, I am not gonna lie, fuck this transmission mount when you're pulling that thing out. We did it. She is up and out, and she looks like a fucking disaster, honestly. So, but the nice thing is, we are going to put this piece back together. Wait till you guys see the build sheet that I made for the motor. It's going to be insane. I'm actually, so I'm going to be breaking this down, and I'll show you guys how to do the full breakdown of it, getting the transmission off, getting everything off, and getting prepped for the machine shop. I'm going to be taking this motor to Advanced Cylinder Heads. They're in Winter Park, and they do amazing work. So I found them through Jay from Real Street, or RS Garage, on YouTube, and I saw him do a 4G63 build for a race car, which, I mean, the precision that they go through at that garage just looks amazing to me. Like, you can't beat that, in my opinion, and for the value, I guess, you get for it. I mean, what I want to do, it's not race series, but I just want to build the indestructible motor. You know what I mean? And that's, to me, that's going to be the ultimate. And Advanced Cylinder Head seems like the best place to be. If Jay from RS Garage trusts them, then why the fuck won't I? Especially with the DSM. Come on, you know? So, yeah. All right, guys, so the motor's out, and let me show you what I got. She is out, and I have it attached to the stand. So if you want to know how to attach it to the stand, let me show you real quick. So you need hardened bolts, 10.9, it should say on the head. These bolts are 12 by 1.25, and I bought 80 millimeter for the top and 100 millimeter for the bottom, and they go in perfect. They work perfect. So just so you know, I picked those up at Ace Hardware also. I'm not sure if everybody has an Ace, but that's where I got them. So for the next video I'm going to be basically breaking down the entire motor piece by piece, and I'll videotape everything I'm going to do to it, and then I will hopefully get it off to the machine shop very soon, and maybe the machine shop will let me do videos there to watch the process of it. That'd be awesome. Would love to see that happen. So, but if you guys like what you see, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned while I tear this thing down. I can't wait.